Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Some dumb guy here, some dumb kitty sugar here. We have come to you with a little bit of glare on the window there, screen. Look at that. A bit of glare. Ooh, look at that. See that? See how the people? Huh? Like nobody would like you to put me down. Very warm September afternoon here. The IRL stuff that's been intruding with a lot of my videos lately, recording, editing, uploading, all that, which is what has prompted me to space my unboxing videos out, publishing-wise, in 1 week increments. Doesn't mean the stuff necessarily stops coming though, right? So, handling business as I have been, I run into a bit of a dilemma because I've got what you just saw in my thumbnail. I got 2 very decent sized boxes from Groove. At least 1 box and a couple envelopes from Amazon. It's building up, it's taking up space that's going to be needed. So by the time you guys see this, this is all going to be said and done. So it doesn't really make any difference to tell you, but you're going to start seeing a really kind of weird transitional shift in my videos between the unboxings and my episodes of SumDumBuys, because getting what was a good possibility now is essentially a definitive that I will be moving here in the next couple of weeks. And that's going to be fun. So I'm doing a lot of prep work for that. But again, stuff still keeps coming in. So in trying to do all the prep work and then get the stuff, now these boxes of stuff that's coming in and wanting to deal with those and process them and put them away so they don't get lost in the shuffle and too backed up. They've gotten too backed up. So I need to record. And these being posted once a week, there's going to be a long drawn out process. Today is September 10th. Odds are this won't go up until probably the first week of November. Meanwhile, my SumDumBuys episodes, which are recorded on the weekend and published as such, by the time this gets put out, I won't be in this environment anymore. I'll be in a whole other environment, which you'll be seeing in SumDumBuys, and that'll be going through its own little transitional phase. So I guess when you're watching these videos, publication doesn't so much matter as it does the dates they were recorded. So I'm going to try to do a little whirlwind recording sessions and editings and postings today to get all this stuff out of the way, because it is. And we're going to start with our good friends over at Deep Discount. 2 different orders worth, so I have 2 boxes and an envelope. I try to minimize the small amounts that I order because I don't like this kind of thing. We don't like these envelopes. We like boxes that offer protection, but because they don't always ship everything you purchase in one batch, sometimes you end up with one of these. That's where we're going to start today. So, SumDumBuys episode, direct from Deep Discount. Toss that over there. Hopefully don't scare Buddy because he's sleeping right here, lazy boy in the heat. We have a Blind Buy Blu-ray from the Warner Archive collection, and this is one that's been floating around on my wish list forever, waiting on a, well, preferable price. Warner Archives releases are hit and miss, and they're all over the place as far as their pricing goes. So what do you qualify as a good price, great price, whatever? Your mileage may vary. I probably picked this up on one of their 15% off in-stock item sales, and the price was comparable to Amazon, so I figured maybe that's why I did it. I'll have to review pricing when I'm editing and see if that's the case, but you'll see all that on screen. This one is a film from 1955. We've got an historical epic, lavish and exciting with great battle scenes and grand pageantry, says Stephen H. Schurer on Movies on TV and Video Cassette. I think it's a little bit of an outdated critic blurb there. Video Cassette. That's cute. Who's in this? Let's have some names of some cast. Rosanna Podesta, Jack Cernus, Sir Cedric Hardwick, Stanley Baker, Neil McGuinness, Nora Swinburne, Robert Douglas, Torrin Thatcher. Interesting collection of names. What we have here for you today is Helen of Troy. I was curious about this as a contrast companion to Troy, which I've always had a lot of fun with. Who knows what kind of 1955 epic versus, when did Troy come out? 2004, so almost a 50-year difference, I think, between the two. We have a runtime on this bad boy. It's only 121 minutes, so it'll be a little bit more abbreviated, but you know, they're not always quite as good on the grand scale of set design and so forth and so on back in the day as they are today, but sometimes that's a good thing. CinemaScope from Warner Color. Very cool artwork depictions, I thought, here, coming in the gate with the big Trojan horse, the lovely Helen herself, which I'm guessing this is probably Helen in Paris. I do not know for sure, but we shall see How does she compare to the lovely Diane Kruger of her day? Inquiring minds want to know. Books. Open, 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 open. Speaker. Everybody keeps looking up like, what was that? Okay, yeah. Ooh, we are expanding the John Wayne library on this day with a blind buy Blu-ray from 1939, black and white, clearly 56 minutes. That is brief. This is part of a unofficial collection, unofficial grouping of films that John Wayne did with two other actors, Ray Corrigan and Max Terhune. Has something to do with this Three Musketeers of the West kind of thing that I'm still not 100% up to speed on, but this was one of those titles. Apparently it was a long-running thing, and some actors cycled in and out of it, and John Wayne was involved. Let's see, The Three Musketeers was the umbrella title for a series of 51 B-Westerns released between 1936 and 1943. 51 Westerns in a 7-year time span. You almost wonder how the Western genre endured as long as it did, pumping out that many titles that often. These films featured the characters of Stony Brook, Tucson Smith, and Lullaby Jocelyn, or Rusty Jocelyn as the threesome. Played by many B-Western stars of that era. In 1938, John Wayne took over for Robert Livingston as Stony Brook and starred in 8 Musketeers films. Mesketeers, not Musketeers, just to be clear here. Between 1938 and 1939. Wow, 8 over a 2-year span. He was joined by Ray Corrington as Tucson Smith and Max Terhune as Lullaby Jocelyn for the first 6, and Raymond Hatton as Rusty Jocelyn for the last 2. All 8 films were directed by George Sherman, a Big Jake fan. John Ford's Stagecoach was perfectly sandwiched between the 8 films, and John Wayne's portrayal of the outlaw gunfighter made him a superstar and ended Wayne's Stony Brook run. Okay. Livingston was rehired as Brooke and went on to make 14 more Musketeers films for an incredible total of 29. In this one here we have is Red River Range. So I don't think that I'm aware of I have any of the other 3 Musketeers titles yet in my library. When I stumbled across this one and I'm going through my wish list, these 3 names on the tops of several covers popped out at me, and I thought, you know what? There's something weird going on here. So I started doing a little investigating and found that. So I think I took some screenshots off of Wikipedia so I can get all those titles and names of them so I can start grabbing them up. Yay! Non-blind buy, say 4K. I saw this for the first time, I believe, just last month or the month before as a theatrical re-release. 70th anniversary, if memory serves. Ooh, I guess 75th anniversary. This is a film from 1950, black and white at 110 minutes. This was a very good film with over 2.5 hours of special features, which probably will not interest me. I will never watch, very likely. Starring William Holden, whom I'd only ever seen as an older man until this film. I didn't even really recognize him right away. Gloria Swanson. This is the one and only the very famous, popular Sunset Boulevard, which I went into completely blind, knew absolutely nothing about, and I loved it that way. A Hollywood Story. I don't know why there's a color image. This is not a color film. There are no color imagery in the title, in the movie. Very odd. This is a great noir film. If it qualifies, it felt noirish to me. I don't know. Does it say? Still trying to get a grasp on defining what noir is. But any of you who are into classic film, highly recommend the story of an aged out Hollywood starlet getting mixed in with a washed up Hollywood screenwriter, and the two forming a very interesting relationship that both are trying to benefit from, and ultimately ends in sadness. Great film. Highest recommendation. This one here I put off for a long time because there was never a good price, because it's a manufactured on demand title, and I tried to avoid those because they're never very cost effective. But this is a second season of a TV series that I watched in the 90s. I bought last year and watched the first season. Got it relatively decently, and deep discounts price has been pretty competitive with Amazon's on this one, but that 15% off thing I think I took advantage of made it finally worthwhile. And it says, you know what, tired of waiting. I do recall the second season kind of dropping off, and then of course the show was canceled immediately after. So we have the final 22 episodes of this little 90s semi-gem. This is Time Treks. And look at that terrible, just generic cover artwork. I think it feels packed full of discs. There's 4 to 6 discs in here. I don't know how many, but it is heavy, dense. I don't remember much, if anything, about the second season. I know I watched it religiously when it started, but the show kind of lost its way. It lost its recurring characters. It like Dale Midkiff. I really did. Well, I think I discovered him in Pet Sematary, and then this guy, I liked his character, and then this came out, and the concept drew me in. I think it was in high school at the time, and yeah, very creative. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it's corny no matter what. Even rewatching the first season now, it's like, okay, it's you know, it is. It just is. We'll see. Tastes change, tastes evolve. I might enjoy it for its own corniness at this point. Last out of the first box, another Warner Archive Collection Blu-ray, Blind Buy, a classic film as they all are. This one is from, wow, 1935. I wasn't expecting it to go as far back. I wasn't even expecting it to be a black and white film. It is both at 132 minutes, interestingly. That you couldn't get that kind of runtime for Helen Troy. His glare is really interesting. It's kind of this haze over everything. Cool cinematic effect. Let's see. We're starring Charles Laughton and Clark Gable, Franchot Tone, Herbert Munden, Eddie Quillen, Dudley Digges, Donald Crisp, Frank Lloyd Production, MGM title. This is Mutiny on the Bounty. Now I think it's just called Bounty, starring Mel Gibson and Anthony Hopkins, which I watched, well, not too terribly long ago, but I don't know if I featured it in an episode of SumDumBuys. So if I didn't, then that would have put it at probably just over a year, give or take, since at least as of the recording of this, we just filmed episode 50. So our 1-year anniversary is firmly approaching. The story of the HMS Bounty and the trials and tribulations of what happens to a crew who's just had enough, but looking forward to checking out a new version. Compare and contrast, as you will. I enjoy doing that kind of thing in my movie watching. You get different renditions and different eras of a same story. See what's what, and how they regarded it different. Not so much a huge fan of the historical aspects of it, because you can't rely on accountability and accuracy, which is a shame. Okay, well, we're going to wrap this up quickly because box number 2 only had a single thing in it. The size of it will become apparent. This was one I regretted not getting when it was widely available in Walmart stores, back when my Walmarts actually used to sell things like physical media in Blu-rays and 4Ks instead of just a handful of DVDs and then pretty much nothing. I would regularly see it at like the $35 range, but I kept putting off the purchase because of who manufactured it, and did some homework to discover that, all things considered, they did a halfway pretty decent job with it that most people were satisfied with. And then of course when I went back, no more, go on their website, price is $20, $30 more than it was originally. So I started watching it on various sites and waiting for potential sale, fearing that it went OOP because the price just wasn't coming back down. And then lo and behold, it did. I think it went on sale for both Amazon and deep discount. And then I think I got that 15% off as well on that. So I finally pulled the trigger, and now we have Miami Vice, the complete series. As if I needed any more TV series in my library to stop the works. It's, oh my God, I will never, ever, ever get to catch up. Don Johnson, is that Edward James Olmos? Sure as hell looks like him. Huh. She looks rather fetching. She's got RBF. I'd rather look at her. Face looks mildly familiar, but I'm not quite placing her. Let's see if it says. Who are you? I know that face. TV's hottest and hippest cup show. Producer Michael Mann. Well, he made the movie too, didn't he? That's interesting in itself, an interesting revisit. Yeah, it's no cast list. We'll find out who she is. 5 seasons, Miami Vice. I do like this packaging. Those who know me know I love consistent spines. Once you get them on the shelf with the inserts laid out, they flow very, very, very nice. This was a Mill Creek release. That was my hesitancy. I really don't want to give them any more of my money. It's not fun. They don't deserve it. Their work ethics and production quality definitely do not deserve it. But sometimes you don't have a choice. Either own it in the fashion you can get it, or you don't own it at all. And what do we do here at the SumDumb channel? We celebrate physical media buying, owning, collecting, watching, shelf appeal, and the fight against the digital domains that intrude streaming services, download codes, all these things that you will never own, will never be able to possess any longer than some studio company CEO wants you to have access to it, and then it's gone. You're not taking away my Miami Vice, even if it's not the best potential quality it could be in. Such is life. We have not always had the best potential quality in those VHS days. They were perfectly fine until they weren't. That's just the way things are. Anyway, what do y'all think? Pickups this time from deep discount? $100. Would you pick up for your own personal library this week, next week, last week, whatever? $100. Engage, discuss, talk about your stuff and your things, because that's why we're here. Thank you for joining me. I shall see you next time in my next unboxing, which I am going to start as soon as I edit and post this. And we're going to keep it all rolling. Bye-bye.
Alan.